true. And if tomorrow carries a different name for what we are and what became, I'll remember this delicate phase where friendship softened into praise. So stay a moment longer than planned. Let your fingers rest near my hand. Right here where nothing seems to move is exactly where our hearts improve. No sudden change, no dramatic sign, just your breath falling close to mine. And in that space, so clear and strange, is the place where we quietly change.
아이씨, 또 렉 걸렸어?
야야야, 무기 완전 싸다. 아구다, 레벨업이다.
You looked up only for a second, but something shifted in the air. Not loud enough for anyone, yet suddenly you were there. The cafe noise kept moving on, spoons against porcelain tone. But in that small suspended beat, I didn't feel alone. It wasn't lightning, wasn't flame, no cinematic sign, just a subtle rearranging of your rhythm close to mine. You asked if this seat was taken, your voice low, steady, kind. I nodded with a careful smile, unsure what I might find. We spoke of ordinary things, work and weather, passing days, yet underneath the simple words a softer current sways. I noticed how you listened fully, not waiting just to speak. Your focus felt intentional, unrushed, sincere, unique. There was a warmth in how you laughed, not sharp, not seeking praise. It settled gently in my chest and lingered in quiet ways. I've known attraction quick and bright, the kind that burns too fast, but this was different, grounded, slow, like something built to last. You didn't try to impress the room or turn the light your way. You stayed within your natural frame and let the moment stay. When silence came, it wasn't strained, it rested soft and wide, like we were testing if this space was safe enough inside. I found myself revealing truths I rarely let unfold, not secrets heavy with regret, but stories rarely told. You didn't interrupt the thread or rush to make it light. You let my words exist as they were, unedited, upright. The piano somewhere near the bar played chords in mellow hue. Each note seemed to underline the ease I felt with you. We didn't speak of future plans or label what we felt. Yes, something honest had begun before our coffee melt. A brush of fingers passing change, a glance held half a beat. The world continued as before, but softer at my feet. I walked outside beside you, the afternoon still young, not holding hands, just side by side with sentences unsung. There's courage in the early stage before declarations rise, when hope is quiet, steady tone and waves between the eyes. You said you'd like to see me soon, no pressure in the phrase, just open air around the words, no hidden maze. I've learned not every spark must race toward promise or design. Sometimes Sometimes the beauty lives within the patient, fragile line. So I let the feeling breathe, didn't grip or guard, allowed it room to form itself without pushing too hard. As we parted at the corner, your smile stayed with me, not as a fantasy to chase, but simple possibility. There's something rare in being met without a need to prove, where presence is enough to hold the smallest shift and move. Maybe this will grow with time or gently fade away, but what began between our words already changed my day. Not with fireworks overhead or dramatic display, but with a steady open warmth that chose to stay.
Laundry basket by the door, sunlight on the tiles, loose change in the pocket from a week of scattered miles. I separate the colors like I've done 100 times. Cotton denim, ordinary fragments of small climbs. The washer starts its turning, low mechanical refrain. Water filling up the drums, soft and unrestrained. There's comfort in the pattern, and cycles set and sure, in knowing that the process will quietly endure. Spin cycle Saturday, nothing grand at stake, just fabric, soap and gravity and gentle give and take. No speeches to deliver, no deadlines in my head, just rhythm and repetition, and wait we can get. The piano keeps it simple with open easy chords. Brushes mark a lazy beat like footsteps on the boards. The bass line hums beneath it, warm and steady tone, the grounding reassurance that I'm not alone. I used to call this boring, the slow domestic kind, dreaming of some louder scene to occupy my mind. But now I feel the value in folding what I wear, smoothing out the creases with patient, quiet care. There's something almost meditative in watching water spin, seeing stains release their hold from where they once had been. Proof that even stubborn marks can loosen if you wait. Not everything requires a drastic shift instant. Spin cycle Saturday keeps the week at bay, washing off the rush of it in a steady sway. There's dignity in tending to details small and plain, in building peace from habits that quietly remain. Slow down, it's alright to live like this. The buzzer sounds its ending, a soft mechanical cue. I lift the lid and feel the warmth of something made anew. Steam rising lightly upward into open air. The scent of simple cleanliness settling everywhere. I hang the shirts by a window light, let them breathe and dry, watching breeze move gently under open sky. There's no dramatic milestone, no applause to earn, just shirts aligned on hangers waiting for their turn. Spin cycle Saturday teaches me to see the worth inside the ordinary that steadies me. Not every satisfaction needs a spotlight's ray. Sometimes it's in the turning of a quiet Saturday. You're doing fine right here. By evening they are folded, stacked in tidy rows, ready for another week of errands, work and roads. And I feel strangely centered in this modest ritual, because peace can start so simply in something habitual.
For the same one I've left at the corner of the shelf. Your fingers brushed against mine and paused without a hope. Just hung softly in the sunlight, cutting through the air. The quiet of the little shop wrapped around us. A smile like it was nothing, just a simple overlap. But something in the stillness hid in the gap. The wooden floor beneath our steps carried gentle sound. Every whisper of a page felt steady and profound. I've always loved these hidden rooms where time is stretched and thin, where stories rest in careful stacks and softer thoughts begin. You asked if I had read this one, your voice so calm and clear, not loud enough to draw a glance, yet somehow drawing near. We spoke of lines that stayed with us, of endings bittersweet, of characters who felt like friends we'd one day hope to meet. There was no rush to impress, no clever words on cue, just honest curiosity moving between me and you. The scent of paper aged and warm felt grounding at my side, like memory without the weight or anything to hide. I noticed how you listen without planning what to say. Your focus wasn't wandering or drifting far away. I've known conversations quick, bright sparks that fade too fast, but this unfolded gradually like something built to last. You held the book a little closer, tracing lines in thought, not performing knowledge or claiming what you'd caught. Outside the world kept moving, cars and herding, but here between the shelves the rhythm felt complete. I didn't feel the need to shine or shape a perfect tone. I spoke the way I truly think, unfiltered, fully known. You laughed at something small I said, not exaggerated or loud, just warm enough to settle in without a need for crowd. We drifted toward the narrow back square. Purchases are made, but neither of us seemed to want. You asked if I came here often. I shrugged and said sometimes. The truth was I had searched for spaces where silence gently chimes, not empty, not alone, but spacious in design, where minds can meet in quiet ways without a flashing sign. You wrote your number on the receipt, no bold, no disguise, just steady handwriting, unhurried and precise. advice, no promise wrapped in urgency, no script about what's next, just possibility untangled in flesh. Step back into the street with paper bag in hand. The afternoon felt altered in ways I hadn't planned, not by spectacle or flame, not by dramatic cue, but by a moment softly held between the shelves with you. And as I walked beneath the trees with sunlight in my view, I realized some stories start without announcing they do.
Fluorescent lights too bright for night, buzzing over tile. Plastic chairs and faded blue, lined in single file. Machines spinning steady rows, glass doors catching foam. Coins clink down metallic slots, a rhythm of their own. Detergent in the heavy air, warm and slightly sweet. Dryers rumble patient circles, low mechanical beat. A television mounted high without a single sound. Subtitles for a drama, no one gathers round. Quarter turns at 2 a.m., clothes tumbling slow. Watching fabric twist and fall in steady undertow. No one asks for conversation, no one needs a name. Just strangers in rotation in this late night frame. The piano rests in mellow chords, soft and evenly spaced. Brushes mark a subtle pulse, unhurried, unchased. The bass line hums beneath it, deep inside the floor, like grounding through vibration behind the dryer's roar. A woman folds in practice lines, precise and square and neat. A man in work boots checks his phone, then rubs his tired feet. Someone studies quietly on a plastic chair, highlighter moving slowly through textbook air. Quarter turns at 2 a.m., keep the thoughts aligned. Watching cycles rinse and spin clears a restless mind. There's something in the waiting, in the low machine refrain, that smooths out sharper worries without calling them by name. Let it turn, let it spin. You don't have to rush. I lean against the counter, sip from paper cup. Let the hum surround me till the day loosens up. Not glamorous, not cinematic, just ordinary light. But ordinary feels different in the middle of the night. The dryers slow their rotation, heat fading into warm. A gentle kind of decrescendo after steady storm. I pull the clothes out carefully, steam against my face. There's comfort in the warmth of it, in freshly folded space. Quarter turns at 2 a.m., not wasting time at all. Sometimes the smallest pauses are the steadiest of calls. No deadlines in this moment, no spotlight overhead, just tumbling through the noise inside my head. Almost done, take it home. I stack the folded cotton balanced on my arm, push the door into the night, cool air replacing warm. Machines keep spinning softly behind the closing frame. Quarter turns at 2 a.m., still humming just the same.
I saw you first through the window glass, reflected in a moving train. For a second I forgot to breathe, like time circled back again. You stood there with your hands in pockets, looking smaller than I knew. Or maybe I just saw you clearer, without the weight of what we grew. My heart didn't race like lightning, it didn't crash against my ribs. It moved like something careful, like it remembered how you live. There was no storm inside me, no trembling at the knees, just a warmth that felt familiar, like a long lost memory. We almost said hello again, almost let the silence bend, almost stepped across the years that we folded into ends. You turned slightly toward me, I felt the air begin to spin. We almost said hello again, we almost let it I wondered if you felt that pull of then and now. Not a hunger, not a heartbreak, just a quiet wondering how two people once so certain could drift without a fight and still stand here unbroken in the soft electric light. I thought about the little things, the way you held your spoon, how you'd read the final pages first and hum an off-key tune. Those details didn't wound me, they didn't make me fall. They simply felt like chapters from a book I once called. I almost said hello again, almost let our fingers move, almost asked about the years and what they helped improve. I saw your eyes grow warmer, like you felt it settling in. We almost said hello again, we almost let it begin. Maybe that was perfect, that nearly crossing line, because love doesn't always need to rewrite everything. Sometimes it's just a mirror held steady through the day, showing who we used to be and how we found our way. You look stronger in your stillness, more grounded than before. I saw the quiet in your shoulders, like you'd settled every war. And I stood there with my heartbeat steady as a drum, grateful for the story and who we've both become. We almost said hello again, but something felt complete, not broken, not unfinished, just balanced on our feet. We gave each other softness, a half smile, small and thin. We almost said hello again, and that was everything. set fire when peace is close at hand. You said hello again, and that was more than fine. A quiet kind of closure that felt like gentle time. No weight inside my breathing. No wish to start anew, just gratitude for who I was. The day I loved you.
Bought a fern on impulse on a Tuesday after work. Didn't know the Latin name, just liked its quiet perk. Set it by the window, water. Googled why it was turning brown. Panicked at the touch, now there's basil in the kitchen, succulents on the shelf. A cactus with an attitude that mirrors me myself. I check the soil each morning like it's breaking news. Celebrate a tiny sprout like headline-worthy views. I talk to my plants now like they understand. Hang in there, you're doing fine. Is something I've planned. I rotate them for sunlight. Apologize for drafts. It's cheaper than a therapist and twice as good for laughs. The piano's got a playful swing, a little bounce and grin. Brushes tapping lightly like mischief settling in. The bass line walks in circles, confident and round, like it knows I found my common chlorophyll and ground. I used to chase productivity, optimize my day, track my habits, count my steps, measure every way. But nothing humbles ego like a drooping little leaf. You cannot out-hustle nature or negotiate with grief. My neighbor thinks I'm strange now, catching me mid-speech. Don't worry, little rosemary, you're finally in reach. He waters his tomatoes, pretends he doesn't care. But I've seen him whisper when he thinks nobody's there. I talk to my plants now about my week and such. They never interrupt me or advise too much. They just stand there photosynthesizing, patient, green and still, teaching me consistency without a single drill. Grow slow, that's fine. So do I. The fern survived the winter, the cactus bloomed once, the basil bolted out. That's life front to front. Some things thrive in sunlight, some need partial shade. Some days I overwater, some days I underpay. There's wisdom in the watering and tending what you keep. And understanding progress doesn't always leap. It sometimes looks like showing up with picture in your hand, trusting small routines to slowly shape the land. I talk to my plants now, and honestly it's true. The things I say to them are things I need to hear too. Be patient with your growing, don't compare your leaves. You're allowed a season to shed what no one sees. You're doing fine. don't demand a plan, but every new unfurling feels quietly grand. Turns out I didn't need another grand romance, just dirt beneath my fingernails and a second chance.
Always sit across from me like nothing ever shifts, laughing at the smallest things, pretending we're just this. But something in the way your fingers trace the rim of your glass feels different than the years that have already passed. We said we never complicate the comfort that we built, kept every moment balanced without a hint of guilt. But every time your shoulder brushes close to mine, there's a quiet spark running under the line. I know your stories like the back of my hand, every reckless plan you never quite planned. You know the way my voice will fall through it all. But lately there's a softness in your steady gaze, a lingering pause that gently stays like we're standing on a fragile ledge, neither stepping back nor making a pledge. I don't want fireworks tearing the air, no grand display to prove we care, just the warmth of your need against mine, and that slow unspoken sign. Maybe love doesn't arrive with a shout, maybe it grows while we're figuring out how to hold the silence without fear, how to let someone truly near. Your laughter lands deeper than before, echoing somewhere at my core. It's not the same familiar sound, there's a tenderness newly found. I catch myself watching the curve of your smile, holding my breath just a little while, wondering when exactly we cross from safe and certain to gently lost. If I reach for your hand tonight, will it feel natural? Will it feel right? Or will the world tilt softly around, changing the shape of every sound? I don't need promises carved in stone, or perfect words carefully shown. Just meet me here in this in-between, where something honest can be seen. Let's not rush what's blooming slow, let it unfold the way we know, with steady rhythm, calm and true, like every quiet talk we grew through. And if tomorrow carries a different name for what we are and what became, I'll remember this delicate phase where friendship softened into praise. So stay a moment longer than planned, let your fingers rest near my hand, right here where nothing seems to move. It's exactly where our hearts improve. No sudden change, no dramatic sign, just your breath falling close to mine. And in that space so clear and strange is the place where we quietly changed.
Everybody's walking faster, like the pavements on a clock. Shoes tapping out ambition on every single block. Screens glowing, moving faces, deadlines in their eyes. The air is thick with hurry, under steel and glass and skies. I used to match the tempo, let it pull me by the sleeve. Every ringing notification felt too loud to leave. Breathing like a contest, running without pause, measuring my value by invisible applause. But the city keeps on turning, whether I run or stand. So I loosen up my shoulders and unclench my hands. There's a rhythm underneath it, quieter than the sound, a steadier vibration, if you're willing to be found. The city moves, not the way it used to make me. I let the trains rush past without letting them shake me. There's power in the choosing not to join the race, strength inside the stillness, in holding my own pace. The piano drops a low chord, soft against the noise, brushes on the snare like a whisper in the void. The bass line hums assurance, deep and unafraid, like something rooted firmly, even when it sways. Billboards flash their promises of faster, bigger, more. Elevators climb ambition through every minute floor, but none of it can tell me who I need to be if I forget the person walking quietly in me. The city moves, at least not in that way. I won't trade my breathing for a brighter display. There's room inside my footsteps for something real and slow, a confidence that doesn't need a spot. Let them hurry, let them prove you don't have to. I stand at intersections and watch the colors change, red to green to yellow, in predictable exchange. Everyone surges forward like there's something to defend, but I've learned the art of waiting without fearing what might end. There's clarity in choosing not to answer every call, not to fill each silence or scale each shining wall. I'm building something quieter, led by study, a foundation made of patience and honest self-aware. City moves, I don't bend but never break. I move when it feels right, not for appearance sake. There's calm inside my center that no rush can display. It's a grounded kind of certainty skyline can erase. Oh, you're not behind, you're just a line of your own design. Light settles over windows, reflections in the rain. The noise becomes a distant hum instead of steady strain. And I can't walk these crowded streets without absorbing speed, because I know the difference between a one and need. The city moves, not unless I choose. I don't have to chase the shine or fear what I might lose. There's freedom in the knowing that I can simply be a steady pulse of purpose, heart of urgency.
You looked up only for a second, but shifted in the air, not loud enough for anyone yet. Suddenly you were there. The cafe noise kept moving on, spoons against porcelain tone. But in that small suspended beat, I didn't feel alone. It wasn't lightning, wasn't flame, no cinematic sign, just a subtle rearranging of your rhythm close to mine. You asked if the sea was talking, your voice low, steady kind. I nodded with a careful smile, unsure what I might find. We spoke of ordinary things, work and weather, passing days. Yet underneath the simple words, a softer current sways. I noticed how you listened fully, not waiting just to speak. Your focus felt intentional, unrushed, sincere, unique. There was a warmth in how you laughed, not sharp, not seeking praise. It settled gently in my chest and lingered in quiet ways. I've known attraction quick and bright, the kind that burns too fast. But this was different, grounded, slow, like something built to last. You didn't try to impress the room or turn the light your way. You stayed within your natural frame and let the moment stay. When silence came, it wasn't strained, it rested soft and wide, like we were testing if this space was safe enough inside. I found myself revealing truths I rarely let unfold, not secrets heavy with regret, but stories rarely told. You didn't interrupt the thread or rush to make it light. You let my words exist as they were, unedited, upright. The piano somewhere near the bar played chords in mellow hue. Each note seemed to underline the ease I felt with you. We didn't speak of future plans or label what we felt, yet something honest had begun before our coffee melt. A brush of fingers pass and change, a glance held half a beat. The world continued as before, but softer at my feet. I walked outside beside you, the afternoon still young, not holding hands, just side by side with sentences unsung. There's courage in the early stage before declarations rise, when hope is quiet, steady toned, and lives between the eyes. You said you'd like to see me soon, no pressure in the phrase, just open air around the words, no hidden maze. I've learned not every spark must race toward promise or design. Sometimes the beauty lives within the patient, fragile line. So I let the feeling breathe, didn't grip or guard, allowed it room to form itself without pushing too hard. As we parted at the corner, your smile stayed with me, not as a fantasy to chase, but simple possibility. There's something rare in being met without a need to prove, where presence is enough to hold the smallest shift and move. Maybe this will grow with time or gently fade away, but what began between our words already changed my day. Not the fireworks overhead or dramatic display, but with a steady open look that chose to stay.
Laundry basket by the door, sunlight on the tiles, loose change in the pocket from a week of scattered miles. I separate the colors like I've done 100 times. Cotton denim, ordinary fragments of small climbs. The washer starts its turn, low mechanical refrain, water filling up the drum, soft and unrestrained. There's comfort in the pattern, in cycles set and sure, in knowing that the process will quietly endure. Spin cycle Saturday, nothing grand at stake, just fabric, soap and gravity and gentle give and take. No speeches to deliver, no deadlines in my head, just rhythm in repetition and unmade weekend. The piano keeps it simple with all easy chords. Brushes mark a lazy beat like footsteps on the board. The bass line hums beneath it, warm and steady tone, a grounded reassurance that I'm not alone. I used to call this boring, the slow domestic kind, dreaming of some louder scene to occupy my mind. But now I feel the value in folding what I wear, in smoothing out the creases with patient, quiet care. There's something almost meditative in watching water spin, seeing stains release their hold from where they once had been. Proof that even stubborn marks can loosen if you wait. Not everything requires a drastic shift in state. Spin cycle Saturday keeps the week at bay, washing off the rush of it in a steady sway. There's dignity in tending to details small and plain, in building peace from habits quietly remain. Slow down, it's alright to live like this. The buzzer sounds, it's ending, a soft mechanical cue. I lift the lid and feel the warmth of something made anew. Steam rising lightly upward into open air, the scent of simple cleanness settling everywhere. I hang the shirts by window light, let them breathe and dry, watching breeze move gently under open sky. There's no dramatic milestone, no applause to earn, just shirts aligned on hangers, waiting for your turn. Spin cycle Saturday teaches me to see the worth inside the ordinary, that steady. Not every satisfaction needs a spotlight. Sometimes it's in the turning of a quiet Saturday. You're doing fine right here. By evening they are folded, stacked in tidy rows, ready for another week of errands, work and roads. And I feel strangely centered in this modest ritual, because peace can start so simple, in something habitual.
I reached for the same worn novel at the corner of the shelf. Your fingers brushed against mine and paused without a help. Dust hung softly in the sunlight, cutting through the air. The quiet of the little shop wrapped around us there. You smiled like it was nothing, just a simple overlap, but something in the stillness shifted in the gap. The wooden floor beneath our steps carried gentle sound and thin, where stories rest in careful stacks and softer thoughts begin. You asked if I had read this one. Your voice low, calm and clear, not loud enough to draw a glance yet. Somehow drawing near, we spoke of lines that stayed with us, of endings bittersweet, of characters who felt like friends we'd one day hope to meet. There was no rush to impress, no clever words on cue, just honest curiosity moving between me and you. The sense of preparation warm felt grounding on my side, like memory without the weight or anything too high. I noticed how you listened without planning what to say. Your focus wasn't wandering or drifting far away. I've known conversations quick, bright sparks that fade too fast, but this unfolded gradually like something built to last. You held the book a little closer, tracing lines in thought, not performing knowledge or claiming what you'd caught. Outside the world kept moving, cars and hurried feet, but here between the shelves the rhythm felt complete. I didn't feel the need to shine or shape a perfect tone. I spoke the way I truly think, unfiltered, fully known. You laughed at something small I said, not exaggerated or loud, just warm enough to settle in without a need for a crowd. We drifted toward the narrow desk where purchases are made, but neither of us seemed to want the moment to fade. You asked if I came here often. I shrugged and said sometimes. The truth was I had searched for spaces where silence gently chimes, not empty, not alone, but spacious in design, where minds can meet in quiet ways without a flashing sign. You wrote your number on the receipt, not bold, not disguised, just steady handwriting, unhurried and precise. No promise wrapped in urgency, no script about what's next, just possibility untangled and unfixed. When I stepped back into the street with paper bag in hand, the afternoon felt altered in ways I hadn't planned, not by spectacle or flame, not by dramatic cue, but by a moment softly held between the shelves with you. And as I walked beneath the trees with sunlight in my view, I realized some stories start without announcing. They do.
Fluorescent lights too bright for night, buzzing over tile. Plastic chairs and faded blue, lined in single file. Machine spinning steady rolls, glass doors catching foam. Coins clink down metallic slots, a rhythm of their own. Turning in the heavy air, warm and slightly sweet. Dryers rumble, patient circles, low mechanical beat. A television mounted high without a single sound. Subtitles for a drama no one gathers round. Quarter turns at 2 a.m. Clothes tumbling slow. Watching fabric twist and fall in steady undertow. No one asks for conversation, no one needs a name. Just strangers in rotation in this late night frame. The piano rests in mellow chords, soft and evenly spaced. Brushes mark a subtle pulse, unhurried and chaste. The bass line hums beneath, deep inside the floor, like drowning through vibration behind the dryer's roar. A woman folds in practice lines, precise and square and neat. A man in work boots checks his phone and rubs his tired feet. Someone studies quietly on a plastic chair. Highlighter moving slowly through textbook air. Quarter turns at 2 a.m. Keep the thoughts aligned. Watching cycles rinse and spin clears a restless mind. There's something in the waiting, in the low machine refrain that smooths out sharper worries without calling them by name. Let it turn, let it spin. You don't have to rush. I lean against the counter, sip from paper cup. Let the hum surround me till the day loosens up. Not glamorous, not cinematic, just ordinary light. But ordinary feels different in the middle of the night. The dryers slow their rotation, heat fading into warm, a gentle kind of decrescendo after steady storm. I pull the clothes out carefully, steam against my face. There's comfort in the warmth of it in freshly folded space. Quarter turns at 2 a.m., not wasting time at all. Sometimes the smallest pauses are the steadiest of calls. No deadlines in this moment, no spotlight overhead. Just tumbling through the noise inside my head. Almost done. Stack the folded cotton balanced on my arm. Push the door into the night, cool air replacing warm. Machines keep spinning softly behind the closing frame. Quarter turns at 2 a.m. Still humming just the same.
I saw you first through the window glass, reflected in a moving train. For a second I forgot to breathe, like time had circled back again. You stood there with your hands in pockets, looking smaller than I knew. Or maybe I just saw you clearer, without the weight of what we grew. My heart didn't race like life, it gentle pull of then and now. Not a hunger, not a heartbreak, just a quiet wondering how two people once so certain could drift without a fight and still stand here unbroken in the soft electric light. I thought about the little things, the way you held your spoon, how you read the final pages first and hum an off-key tune. Those details didn't wound me, they didn't make me fall. They simply felt like chapters from a book I once called. Oh, we almost said hello again, almost let our fingers move, almost asked about the years and what they helped improve. I saw your eyes grow warmer, like you felt it settling in. We almost said hello again, we almost let it begin. And maybe that was perfect, but nearly crossing line, because love doesn't always need to rewrite every time. Sometimes it's just a mirror held steady in the day, showing who we used to be and how we found our way. You look stronger in your stillness, more grounded than before. I saw the quiet in your shoulders, like you'd settled every war. And I stood there with my heartbeat steady as a drum, grateful for the story and who we've both become. We almost said hello again, almost said hello, but something felt complete, not broken, not unfinished, just balanced on our feet. We gave each other softness, a half smile, small and thin. We almost said hello again, and that was everything. The train arrived between us, doors sliding open wide, a brief and simple moment with nothing left to hide. You nodded like a promise that needed no defense, and I nodded back in kindness without regret or pretense. As you disappeared inside it, I didn't chase the sound, because loving you once deeply was enough to hold my ground. Some stories don't need sequels, some feelings don't demand a second chance at fire when peace is close at hand. We almost said hello again, and that was more than fine. A quiet kind of closure that felt like gentle time. No ache inside my breathing, no wish to start anew, just gratitude for who I was the day I loved you.
I bought a fern on impulse on a Tuesday after work. Didn't know the Latin name, just liked its quiet perk. Set it by the window, watered it too much. Googled why are leaves turning brown, panicked at the touch. Now there's basil in the kitchen, succulents on the shelf, a cactus with an attitude that mirrors me myself. I check the soil each morning, like it's breaking news. Celebrate a tiny sprout like headline-worthy view. I talk to my plants now like they understand. Hang in there, you're doing fine, is something I've planned. I rotate them for sunlight, apologize for drafts. It's cheaper than a therapist and twice as good for laughs. The piano's got a playful swing, a little bounce and grin. Brushes tapping lightly like mischief settling in. The bass line walks in circles, confident and round, like it knows I found my calm in chlorophyll and ground. I used to chase productivity, optimize my day, track my habits, count my steps, measure every way. But nothing humbles ego like a drooping little leaf. You cannot out-hustle nature. My neighbor thinks I'm strange now, catching me mid. Don't worry, Rosemary, you're finally in reach. He waters his tomatoes, pretends he doesn't care, but I've seen him whisper when he thinks nobody's there. I talk to my plants now about my week and such. They never interrupt me. They just stand there photosynthesizing, patient and still, teaching me consistency without a single drill. Grow slow, that's fine, so do I. Survive the winter, the cactus bloomed once, the basil bolted off. That's life front to front. Some things thrive in sunlight, some need partial shade. Some days I overdo, some days I underplay. There's wisdom in the water, in tending what you keep, in understanding progress doesn't always leap. It sometimes looks like picture in your hand. Trust in small routines to slowly shape the land. I talk to my plants now, and honestly it's true. The things I say to them are things I need to hear too. Be patient with your growing, don't compare your leaves. You're allowed a season to shed what no one sees. You're doing fine. Keep reaching. They don't applaud my efforts, they don't demand a plan, but every new unfurling feels quietly grand. Turns out I didn't need another grand romance, just dirt beneath my fingernails and a second chance.
Watch you tying your hair this morning, the same small habit from years ago. Your hands move quicker now than mine, but I still see the child I know. You don't need me to pack your days or smooth the corners of your plans. You've grown into your careful grace with steady heart and capable hands. There were nights I lay awake, wondering how much I should say, how to guide without control, how to let you find your way. I try to give you room to fall. try to hold the door half wide so courage could stand at your side. You carry questions in your eyes bigger than the ones I knew, chasing roads I've never walked, dreaming dreams entirely new. And though I cannot map them out or clear each doubt that comes along, I trust the rhythm in your chest. It's been resilient all along. You don't have to win the race or prove the strength you already hold. The quiet way you face the world has always brightly shown. There will be days that test your will, moments sharp and unforeseen, but you were built with patient fire and something beautifully keen. I see it when you speak your mind, not loud but firm and kind. I hear it when you choose your ground, balanced, thoughtful sound. If ever you forget your worth or feel too small to stand, remember how you learned to walk by letting go of me. Not because I stepped away, but because you chose to try. Each wobble shaped your steady step, each tear taught you to rise. You are not the sum of praise, nor the weight of passing blame. You are the pulse of your own days, with no one else to claim. When you walk into unknown rooms, hold your shoulders free. There's history in the way you move, a quiet legacy. Not perfection, not design, just love refined by time, carried in the tone you speak, in every hill you climb. And if the path feels steep at times or lonely in the crowd, know that strength can whisper low, it doesn't need to be loud. I won't chase your changing sky or anchor you to mine. I'll stand here steady, proud and still while you redraw your lines. So go and ride and fearless, sink across the years you claim. I'll be the voice that softly says you've always been enough the same. When you walk your chosen way through joy, through doubt, through change, remember home is not a place, it's the courage in your name.
Stacked against the wall, names echo in an empty room, gives me space to think. Key still cold inside my hand, the door not fully known. Every sound unfamiliar, but somehow still mine. The hallway smells like fresh paint, footsteps softly fade. Someone laughing 2 floors down in a language slightly strange. Street lights flicker patiently outside the narrow pane. A city I have never loved, whispering my name. First night on a new street, nothing set in stone. Every shadow holds a story I have yet to own. Not afraid of being new or not knowing the way. There's freedom in the blankness of an unarranged day. The piano moves in gentle chords, careful and aware. Brushes sweeping quiet arcs like dust in the air. The bass line hums beneath it, low and unconfined. A steady pulse reminding me I'm not leaving me behind. I place a cup on cardboard, sit cross-legged on the floor. No curtains on the windows, yet no pictures by the door. The silence isn't empty, it feels wide and awake, like First night on a new street, no history to defend, no past mistakes replaying around another bend. Just breathing in the present, letting nerves unwind. There's courage in beginning without a fixed design. It's alright to not have all the answers right now. I think about the mornings that haven't happened yet. Coffee on this windowsill, sunrise I haven't met. Neighbors I will recognize by rhythm of their door. Conversations in the stairwell I've never heard before. There's beauty in the unknown and maps without a mark, and turning on a single lamp inside a quiet dark. Not everything familiar has to follow through. Sometimes growth is choosing a place that challenges you. First night on a new street, I listen to the rain, soft against the rooftop like it's calling my name. Not warning, not demanding, just steady as it falls. A gentle introduction to these brand new walls. You made it here, that's enough for now. Stretch out on the hardwood boxes as a frame. The ceiling feels much higher without past to claim. There's space for different versions of who I might become. Room for quiet confidence in what is yet to come. First night on a new street feels open and alive. Not certain, not completed, but willing to arrive. If tomorrow brings confusion or streets I can't yet read, I'll walk them slowly, learning at exactly the right speed.
Between old pages, a sketch of something I once knew. Lines drawn with impatient hope in shades of fearless blue. I almost didn't recognize the handwriting as mine. So certain its upward reach, so confident in line. Back then the future felt so wide, like doors without a key. I thought desire alone would build a bridge in front of me. However, I was into responsibilities grew, not crushing, just demanding space and asking something new. So I folded up that fragile map and placed it out of sight. Not as surrender, not as loss, just hidden from the light. Years moved on in steady turns. I learned a deeper art, how to sustain, how to endure, how to protect my heart. Yet standing here with paper thin between my past and now, I feel that early pulse again, returning somehow. It doesn't rush or shout my name, it doesn't plead or cry. It simply rests beneath my ribs and asks me not to deny. The dream is different than before, less polished, less extreme. It doesn't need a crowded stage or glittering regime. It asks for time carved out each day, for practice without praise, for quiet rooms and honest work in measured faithful ways. for shadows that are cast. There's wisdom in a slower climbing, building stone by stone, in choosing growth that roots itself instead of being shown. I trace the outline once again of what I hope to be, and notice how it still aligns with who I've grown to see. The world has changed and so have I, my voice more warm and sure. I no longer chase applause to feel that I endure. Now I create because it's true, because it shapes my air, because there's something in the act that feels like living prayer. The folded paper in my hand is softer at the seam, not worn from failure or regret, but patient with the dream. I smooth it out across the desk, let daylight find its place, and see the line still breathing there with quiet, steady grace. This time I will not hurry it or measure it by fame. I'll build it piece by faithful piece without a borrowed name. If progress comes in sudden waves, I'll meet it without fear. Each small advance enough to prove the calling still sincere. I am not who I was then, but neither is she gone. She lives within my present step, steady and drawing. The dream I folded years ago was never meant to fade. It waited for a fuller heart and hands less unafraid. So I begin without a rush, without dramatic claim, just breath and focus, warm and clear, rewriting its name. Not chasing what I used to be, nor racing toward a claim, but honoring the steady truth that called me just the same. The dream I folded away has never left my side. It rises now in quiet strength with nothing to
Boarding pass folded in my hand, coffee going lukewarm slow.